Could Kevin Gausman be headed back to the American League East, this time with the Toronto Blue Jays? Blue Jays fans, do you want this deal to happen? Do you want Kevin Gausman as a part of the rotation? Hit that like if you do, and if you don't, comment below. Let us know why. Certainly some moving parts here. You want to get a deal done with Robbie Ray. Can you have Ray and Gausman? Do you need to get Gausman before Ray? A lot to unpack, and we're going to dive into that. But again, there is talk about Gausman and Blue Jays. There are some rumors. We talked about it on the channel last Friday. John Morosi out there talking about how Gausman could be a fit, that the Jays are talking to Gausman with his experience in the American League East. And over the weekend, some more smoke to the fire. Again, where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's dive into the smoke. NBC Sports out of San Francisco tweeting out that Gausman was drawing interest from the Blue Jays. Again, this is something we talked about last week with Gausman and maybe going to the Blue Jays. Does it make sense? How does it fit in with the current rotation? We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at all of it. What do we know? Well, we know that the Blue Jays offered Kevin Gausman a 3-year deal last year before Gausman accepted the qualifying offer from the San Francisco Giants. And we know that the Blue Jays, despite the Robbie Ray wanting to bring him back, they were in talks on Erod. Erod ultimately going to the Tigers. So we know they're looking to add. We know that the rotation, top of that rotation, is a priority. So Kevin Gausman could fit in. I think Jays fans would all agree, though, we don't want it to be at the expense of Robbie Ray. But if Robbie Ray's not going to happen, Kevin Gausman would be a nice piece to add. Again, we had Morosi talking about Gausman and his experience in the American League East could be a fit there. So with that, let's take a look at Kevin Gausman's experience in the American League East. And we look at his stats for his career, came up with the Orioles, was one of the Oriole top prospects, but it never really worked out. There you see with Baltimore, never able to compile a record over 500. Now, that's not necessarily his fault, but you do see some seasons where the ERA is a little higher than you might like, 4.25 and 4.68, and you know, that's in 5.66, but again, that was his rookie season, and he was coming out of the bullpen a lot. But he's been up and down a lot in his career. Really started to shine through in 2018 when he was traded to Atlanta. Did very well, over 10 starts there. Then started 2019 with Atlanta. It wasn't working out, and he got traded to Cincinnati again and was put to the bullpen. Really pulled things together in San Francisco. That is where his career started to turn around. So is this something we can expect to continue? If you take a close look at Kevin Gausman's 2021 season, which was a great year for him, 14 wins and everything, the big concern are the second half numbers. The second half numbers, 9-3 with a 1.73 ERA and a 0.82 whip in the first half. And then in the second half, 5-3 record with a 4.42 ERA and a 1.37 whip. That is not going to work. And you wonder, is that a regression to the norm, or was it just a few bad starts? Time will tell on that, but Kevin Gausman certainly did not do well the second half of last season. But you can also take a look at his percentiles, where he ranks. We'll take a look at those right here, and you can see, okay, the hard hit rate and the average exit velocity is bad. You don't want to live in the 41st and 31st percentiles in all of baseball with those categories. But what you do like is you like the K rate, you like the walk rate, the whiff rate, the chase rate is all good. 92 percentile in with that chase rate, and that's a lot to do with his mix. He throws his fastball more than half the time, and he mixes it up with the slider and the split finger. The split finger is his nasty pitch. He gets a lot of those swings and misses and putaways, outs, with the slider and especially with that sinker. So that was working for him in the 2021 season. And that, you know, if you're going to have that kind of a hard hit rate or that kind of an exit velo average, then you're going to need to have that kind of a chase rate ultimately, or you're going to get rocked. So he's got to keep getting batters to swing at the pitches that are going out of the strike zone. Now we talk about what the Blue Jays need, okay? They need to address, and they are certainly, from all of the early rumblings and rumors that we're hearing, addressing that rotation. So let's look at the rotation. You have Barrios locked up now. You've got Ryu for a few more years, a nice budding star with Alek Manoah. And then where do you go from there? Do you bring back Ray? Do you bring back Matz? There's talk that they're trying to bring both of them back. Kevin Gausman, does he fit in? If you go get Gausman, can you also bring back Robbie Ray? Nate Pearson, where does he fit into the mix? At one point last year, entered the season as somebody who's going to expected to live at the top of that rotation. He got hurt. He struggled. It didn't happen. They sent him back to the minors. He got it back together. And then late last season, coming out of the bullpen was a little bit more trustworthy. Started to look like maybe that prized prospect that the Blue Jays thought they had when Nate Pearson might still be in there, and he may be able to get it going. Now, if you're going to get Gausman and Matz, or Gausman and Ray, or even off the Gausman track, Ray and Matz, Pearson probably slides to the bullpen. You have to figure. But the other question to ask here is, if the Jays sign Gausman before a Robbie Ray deal gets done, does that mean Ray is gone? Not necessarily, but it does make it highly unlikely, in my opinion, that they can have Gausman and Robbie Ray. Gausman and Matz, sure. I think that is a realistic thing. And we got to watch and see how this thing tracks. If we get a Steven Matz deal to the Blue Jays, first and foremost, that may be an indication of what's going on. If you get a Kevin Gausman signing, I think that's another indication of what is probably going on. Because, again, I just don't see a world where you have Gausman and Ray. Now, they could do it. That means Semien is certainly gone. They're sort of looking at the domino effects that could happen. Gausman and Ray would definitely prevent a Marcus Semien re-signing. However, there are still trades that are out there with players that are on some good, affordable, team-friendly deals or in their arbitration years that you could go and get, because you still need to replace the production that you had from Marcus Semien. So the rotation sort of shapes up like that. Gausman himself, he's going to have a lot of options. We know that Gausman is going to have a ton of options this offseason. So any winning team makes sense, right? The Giants certainly are going to be in the fold to bring him back. The Blue Jays make sense. You could also see the Red Sox, Mariners, Braves, Mets, Cardinals popping into the conversation as potential teams. They're all going to be trying to win next season. Kevin Gausman's at the point of his career where he's going to want to be going to a winner. And all of these winners could use his services, in the top 1, 2, or 3 of their rotation. Now, the Jays would be wise to bring back Ray or sign Gausman, one of the two, and then try to re-sign Semien or find a way to replace his production. The Jays were just a couple of walkathons away from making the playoffs last year. And they certainly, if they had made the playoffs, they would have been a dangerous team in October. I don't think anybody doubts that. So being able to run that same production back, be it either with the same players or with new additions, coupled with the year-to-year progressions for the young players and an improved bullpen heading into the season, and a full season with Manoah would lead to good things for the Blue Jays. So whether it's Robbie Ray, which Jays fans I think feel comfortable with what they would get with Robbie Ray, maybe a little less comfortable with what they might get with Kevin Gausman, you got to still have that production from a starter, so you got to get one of those two. And then you got to figure out, again, what you're doing with the lineup, because you got to work out the whole Semien production thing. But this team, if you have all of that, good things are coming in 2022, and I think the front office knows it. Again, Jays fans, do you want this to go down? Do you want Kevin Gausman on the Jays? Again, timing could be an issue. You may need to lock Gausman in before you get Robbie Ray, because Robbie Ray's talking to 20 other teams. Maybe they don't have time to wait. This happened a few years ago with Edwin Encarnacion. Encarnacion wanted to see his market develop. The Jays didn't want to wait. They went out and signed Steve Pearson, a bunch of other, C and B pieces, and Edwin was gone. So will that happen again? Could that happen with Robbie Ray? I think Jays fans, you hope that doesn't happen. Hit that like and comment below if you want Kevin Gausman on the Blue Jays, and let me know what your thoughts are. How does he fit in for you? Do you think no problem Gausman or Ray, or are you thinking either or? And comment below, let me know what you think. Thank you for checking this video out. I appreciate it. I will add links to some of my recent free agency content for you to check out here now. I appreciate you spending some time with the channel, and thank you for watching my video.